Reddit Confessions. A cop pulled me over and I called 911 and lied to get out of going to jail. When I was 19, I was running late to work in my tiny piece of shit economy car and on fumes of gas. I didn't come to a complete stop on a right turn. Lights behind me, so I pull over. I know I've barely got any gas at all and was almost to a gas station, hence why I rolled through the stop a little, trying not to have the car die. At the time, around 1995, a new digital phone had come out called the Voice Stream, now T-Mobile, and their whole big thing was the phones were digital and not cellular. They were the first phones with caller ID, and one of the big things the salesman had said over and over was since it was digital, the signal couldn't be triangulated or traced. Not that I cared, but it did stick in my head. Well, as I give the cop my license, registration, and insurance card, I got an idea. I knew if I was late to work, I was going to lose my job. They were super strict there. So I got an idea, and right after I hand the papers to the cop and he's walking back to his cruiser, I called 911 and I tell the operator I just saw a guy with a loaded shotgun walk into a 7-Eleven that was about 2 blocks away. I confirmed the address and then I hung up. About 30 seconds later, the cops come sprinting to my car and hands me all my stuff and rushes and says, "Come to a complete stop next time," then peels off to the direction of the store. I pushed my car to the gas station that I'd almost made it to and felt pretty pleased with my brilliance. I was an idiot though, and I do confess. I've stolen hundreds of dollars worth of water just by saying 5 words. My college has a food court in one of the main buildings. Every single time I've eaten lunch there since I was a freshman, I grab a bottle of water with my meal, walk up to pay, and say, "I brought the water in." The employees aren't paid enough to care. Ha! Am I the asshole for telling my kids why we're getting a divorce? All right, this is messy. Me and my ex-wife got married at 23, then had 3 kids. The 3 kids are now 17, 15, and 14. I recently found out my ex-wife has been cheating on me for 3 years. Once I confronted her, she broke down, saying that I was never home, always working. By the way, I worked like that so she could be a stay-at-home mom. I raised my kids to know that cheating is one of the worst things in the world. If you no longer love someone, break up with them. Don't cheat. Even if you have issues with the relationship, work it out or leave them. Now, before we sat them down, their mother begged me to not tell them that she cheated. I told her if they asked, I would not lie. She tried to dance around the whole reason for the divorce, citing quote-unquote adult issues. 14-year-old asked why we were getting a divorce, and I told him flat out, she cheated on me for 3 years. The mother immediately burst out crying, and all the kids were incredibly angry with her. It's been 3 months and they still haven't spoken to her, saying she ruined their family and their lives, and that she's a quote-unquote cheater and a liar. She's been coming after me online saying that I'm a bastard and ruined her relationship with the kids. But I gotta know, am I the asshole for telling my kids why we're getting a divorce? Am I the asshole for using Make-A-Wish for myself? So I am a Make-A-Wish recipient, and lately I've been feeling terrible about what I wished for through the organization. If you don't know, Make-A-Wish is an organization that donates wishes to those with a chronic or terminal illness. When I was younger, I have always been asked by this organization to make a wish for anything, whether it be trips or something I would like for myself personally. However, throughout the years, I have refused them because I didn't think I needed anything, and also because my siblings kept asking me if they wanted to grant me a wish because I was going to die soon, even though it turns out that was never the case. So I turned 18, and since that time, I have underwent 3 surgeries since graduating high school. I have also had to take medical leave from university since the surgery didn't go well. Make-A-Wish had asked me if I wanted to do a wish for something and that this was my last chance to do so, and I told them I would consider it and let them know when I was ready. When I was ready to make my wish, I kept being pressured about wishing for a family trip, even though I honestly am not interested in traveling anywhere. Because of COVID, the traveling trips were canceled and felt as if there was an opening to ask if I could get tuition money for school, but was told that they don't really do those kinds of wishes. At the end, I finally decided on a shopping spree to get the tech that I know I would need to purchase for university down the road, and also the ones I wanted. My mom has always been there in the hospital for me and felt as though it was selfish of me to make a wish that didn't benefit her or the family. And as a result, decided to sell the computer, one of the gifts I got. I was also told by my brother that it was selfish of me to get this for myself and should have spent it equally on the whole family as they all suffer when I'm sick. I know it's true, but I am a student and always wanted to have the ability to work from the comfort of my home and have an office set up because in high school, I always had to complete assignments at school or share the laptop amongst my siblings. I'm wondering, am I the asshole for wishing for myself? Am I the asshole for asking a woman to breastfeed somewhere else? I, 27 male, work a job that allows a very good amount of time for a lunch break. So much, in fact, that I'll regularly head down to a cafe. I really don't know if it's a cafe, but it's about pretty small, so yeah. And sit and have something while the time I have for the break. Keep in mind, for some reason, this place is almost always busy. It just so happened today that a woman, early to mid-20s, came inside with a baby, and it was so busy that it looked like there was only 2 open seats available, one of which happened to be the seat across from my table. This woman asked if she could sit at the table. The other table was under the air conditioner, so understandable. I said yes, because what harm would it have done otherwise? So a little bit goes by and her baby starts crying. So she takes her breast out and starts breastfeeding. Obviously, I'm just avoiding all eye contact because it got so uncomfortable that I ended up asking if she might be able to see if she could sit at the other table. I'm just trying to sit here, drink this cup of coffee, finish reading in my portfolio, and leave. This woman looked sorry and really just said she couldn't, and the baby was already eating, feeding, I don't know. So I just downed the coffee. A few people looked at me like I was a douche, and it's been bothering me. I know it's a natural thing for babies and moms, and that there's nothing I can do. I wasn't going to try and force her away, so I left. Was it too far to ask if she may have sat at the other table? I don't know. I feel like I was an asshole thinking about it now, but I just didn't know what to say when a random woman is breastfeeding 3 feet away. Was I the asshole here? Reddit Confessions. I used to bully my disabled brother for years. I know this will get a lot of hate, and yes, I deserve it. I am not looking for any validation or forgiveness. I know I am a piece of human trash. I just need to get this out. I have a brother who is 2 years older than me. He has suffered from a condition since birth that forces him to be in a wheelchair anytime he is out of bed. He cannot use his arms that well either. We used to have a great relationship until I turned 11, and I really started resenting the amount of attention he took from my parents and how much stress he put them under. I had to constantly help him, change him, feed him. I hated it. There was a few years in his life when he was so mean to my parents, and it really made me resent him more. I realize now that I had no right to judge him, and I will never know how difficult life is for him. I stopped hanging out with him and made more friends at school. I would tell my family all the fun I was having at school during dinner to make him feel bad. I started barely talking to him or acknowledge his presence. He would get frustrated to the point of tears to get my attention. It started escalating 2 years ago when I would purposely turn off the Wi-Fi and unplug the TV every time we had to leave the house so my brother could do nothing but sit in his wheelchair. I would purposely delete his favorite saved shows on the DVR. I would make fun of his speech, push things just out of his reach. I would act disgusted when I had to change or bathe him. It always made me feel bad, and he would apologize. I made my own brother apologize for taking a dump. What the fuck is wrong with me? But my fucking saint of a brother never told my parents, and he never let me have it. 3 weeks ago, he was trying to talk to me nonstop, and I was just ignoring him. I got annoyed and wheeled him against his wishes to the backyard and placed him under an umbrella and went back inside. I fell asleep and realized I left him out there for 3 hours. When I went to bring him back inside, he was in tears and wouldn't look at me. He was humiliated. I have always felt guilty about how I treated my brother all these years, but my anger towards him overpowered it. But seeing that look on his face affected me in a way that was different from before. I stopped all the bullying after that day. I couldn't even look him in the face. I was so ashamed. Last Sunday, my brother told me he was glad I was his brother and friend. I couldn't even respond. I went to my room and cried. I'm fucking crying again, typing all this out. When did I become an evil trash human being? Fuck. I'm 17 and he's 19 now. I know there is nothing I can do to make up for the past 6 years. My brother will be returning with my mom from a specialist appointment tonight. I'm going to apologize to him and beg for his forgiveness tonight. I want to start being a fucking decent brother to him again. I am a healthy guy with no issues who chose to bully his only brother for something that wasn't even his fault. I am so ashamed of myself. Update. A lot of people were asking for an update, so here it is. I wrote up a long-ass apology letter that I wanted to read to my brother. I waited until he got home and got into bed for the night. I knocked on his door and he was so fucking excited that it was me. I couldn't even get through the first few words. I started crying after saying, I wanted to say I'm really sorry and just couldn't get through it. I just got into bed with him and laid down next to him. He hugged me really tight and said, I missed you, buddy. I fucking lost it. I never cried that bad before. He just hugged me for a long time until I calmed down. We didn't talk much. He started crying for a bit too. It was the first time in a long time we just hugged. After half an hour, I got up and gave him a kiss and told him he was so happy. Why didn't I do this earlier? Fuck. I thought I could try apologizing properly again tomorrow. I left him the note to read anyway. I am feeling very hopeful right now, and a lot of pressure in my heart is gone. I swear to God and on my own life, I will never treat my brother so badly again. I also realized that I need to have a relationship with my brother where I am not just taking care of him. It needs to be like a normal brother relationship, like going for movies and stuff. It's going to take some time for me to fix the mess I created. I'm just so lucky. My brother is so amazing.